If you're suffering with a dry and itchy scalp, maybe you've got flaking as well, maybe it's dandruff, maybe you have psoriasis on your scalp, I've got 8 natural tips to really help to clear it up. Okay, tip number 1 for that psoriasis and dandruff is to fix your gut. So believe it or not, what's happening in your gut and your gut microbiome has a lot to do with what's happening with your skin microbiome and what's happening on your head as well. So taking herbal medicines in a combination, which I call Cabo, is fantastic to help to clear up some of those less favorable organisms and maybe some of the yeast and the malassezia that could be affecting what's going on your scalp. As well as following that up with some probiotics and making sure that you're getting enough essential minerals in your diet as well becomes very important to fix that entire microbiome. Okay, tip number 2 is to make sure that your circadian clock mechanisms are optimized. Well, what does that mean? Well, your circadian rhythms, which of course follows the light and dark cycle, the hot and cold cycle of the day, is very important for the clock mechanisms in your gut, in your skin as well. And often there's a mismatch as to the proper timing of your skin clocks as it's related to the master clock in your brain in the SCN. So what we want to do is to get your body back into a natural rhythm following the light and dark cycle of the day. And I've got other videos on how to do that. One quick tip here is to make sure that after the sun has set, that it's dark. So in a natural environment, if we didn't have artificial light bulbs, then it would be dark in that environment. If we did have light, it would be natural full spectrum light, either from candles or from firelight. So just making sure that your environment is sort of mimicking what happens in a natural environment becomes really important even for your skin and for your scalp. Okay, tip number 3 is to consider doing a full body, but also a heavy metal detox. So those heavy metals, things like mercury, aluminum, but other toxins in the body can very much be related to that unhealthy microbiome and can be related to what's happening on the microbiome on your head as well and on your skin. So that becomes important for helping with that dandruff and psoriasis. Okay, tip number 4, this one's easy, should be easy, is to get more natural sunlight actually right on your scalp. So taking off that hat if you're wearing a hat, and even some cold exposure can be really healing to your mitochondrial health, and that can help your skin health as well. Okay, tip number 5 is to try some warm coconut oil. And this is a natural antifungal. It's very soothing to an irritated scalp. It can be great for that dandruff and the psoriasis as well. Okay, tip number 6 is to actually mix up a specific mask designed for your scalp. Now this can be really helpful. It's something that I share in another one of my shorter videos, so you can check out that recipe. It involves some tea tree oil, some aloe gel, and either some apple cider vinegar or some witch hazel, which is a great astringent and is really useful for an irritated scalp. Okay, tip number 7 is to get more natural light, and especially red light and UV light on your scalp. Now there are devices that do this, but also just getting out into natural sunlight exposure, really helpful for clearing up that scalp. Okay, and tip number 8 is to try some black seed oil. So actually ingesting the black seed oil capsules has proven to be really, really effective, especially for psoriasis on the scalp, but for dandruff as well. It has an antifungal effect, it's antibacterial, really can clear up that dry and flaky scalp. Now, I talked a little bit about that leaky gut syndrome, how that could be related to the dandruff and the psoriasis. I have another video that has more tips for that leaky gut syndromes. So check it out, the 8 leaky gut tips you need to know.